Yo, what's up everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of Horror Story Junkie. This podcast has been a long time coming, and if you're hearing this right now, you're officially one of the first. I started this show because honestly, I'm obsessed with the stuff people don't talk about out loud. The strange, the unexplainable, the dude, you're not gonna believe this kind of stories. It's for everyone who grew up listening to their cousin's haunted house stories, or stayed up way too late scrolling through Reddit threads, or had that one experience they still can't explain. This show is for the ones who want to believe, and the ones who already do. So whether you're tuning in while working the night shift, driving through some backwoods town, walking your dog in the dark, or curled up in your room with the lights off, this is your place. This is our little corner of the internet to be scared together. And I'm your guy, Dallas. I'm chill. I laugh a lot when I'm uncomfortable, and I've got a deep love for anything that makes your skin crawl. While working the night shift, driving through some backwoods town, or curled up in your room with the lights off, this is your place. And I'm your guy, Dallas. I'm chill, I'm curious, and I've got a deep love for anything that makes your skin crawl. The podcast where we dive deep into the kind of stories that keep you up at night, make you double check your locks, and question every little creak in the floorboards. I'm your host, Dallas. And if you're like me, you live for the creepy stuff. Now look, this is our launch episode, so if you're tuning in for the first time, you picked a good one. We're kicking things off with one of the freakiest personal encounters I've ever heard. Tonight, I've got my boy Eric in the chair. The dude's seen more terrifying stuff on night shifts than most of us see in a lifetime. Eric, what's up, man?
What's up, man? Glad to be here. I've got one for you tonight that still messes with my head, and I'm telling you, I don't scare easy.
That's facts. You worked security, right? Like graveyard shift, solo?
Yup. This one happened when I was working at a freight warehouse in a real quiet part of Indiana. You'd think nothing goes down there. Wrong.
There's always something hiding in the quiet places, bro. But for real, do you ever feel like the quieter a place is, the more it feels like something's waiting to happen? Like silence itself is just holding its breath, waiting for that first footstep, that first voice. I swear, man, those silent places know things. All right, set the scene for us.
Before I dive in, you should probably know a little bit about me. I'm not one of those guys who jumps at shadows or gets freaked out by ghost stories. I grew up around rough neighborhoods, served 4 years in the Marines, and I've worked more security gigs than I can count. If there's one thing I know, it's how to keep calm when things get sketchy. Okay, so it's late 2021. I had just started this new gig doing solo security patrols on this massive warehouse property. It's like 5 connected buildings, all fenced in. But the gate arm's busted, so anyone could just walk onto the lot. They gave me one of those little golf carts, a radio that barely worked, and a clipboard like that was gonna save my life.
Classic, we care about your safety, starter pack.
Right? So it's like my 3rd week. I do my rounds every hour, flash the light around, check the docks, and kill time, watching YouTube on my phone in the little guard shack. First night I saw him, it was around 2:10 a.m. I'm heading back to the shack and I see this figure standing just outside the fence. Real still. I'm thinking maybe it's a driver who got lost. So I call out, "Hey, you good, man?" No answer, just stands there. I shine my light and this dude, he's not facing me. He's turned sideways like he's looking toward the woods behind the property.
Nah, sideways people hit different, bro.
I swear, it's always worse when they're not doing what you expect, you know? So I approach, but once I'm like 20 feet away, he just walks off. No rush, just vanishes into the trees like he lives there. No big deal.
You just let him go? Bro, I would have been out the moment I saw him sideways. I'd be like, y'all can keep the job, I'm out. But seriously, it's wild how sometimes our brain just makes us freeze instead of run. Like you know something's wrong, but your body's like, let's just see what happens.
I mean, what was I gonna do? I'm not armed. Plus, he was outside the property line. I radioed it in and kept it pushing. But here's the thing. Next night, same time, he's back. Same spot. Just standing there. Every night after that, 2:13 a.m., like clockwork, not moving, not talking. Sometimes he'd face the trees, sometimes the fence, sometimes just straight up into the sky.
Okay, that's some you're stuck in a loop horror movie type beat.
Dude, it was messing with my head. After a week, I started tracking it. I'd marked the time and location. Even left a flashlight turned on by the fence one night. Next morning, the batteries were dead, but the light was still on.
Come on, man.
I'm telling you. Then came the night I finally snapped and walked up to him. It's 2:13 again. He's there. I walk up and say, "Hey man, you need help? You okay?" And he turns. First time I saw his face.
And?
Nothing. That's the thing. His face was blank. Like not featureless, but forgettable. I looked right at him and within seconds I couldn't describe what I saw. Then he smiles. Not creepy, not evil, just like he was waiting for me to come closer. And then he says, "I was hoping you'd talk to me." That voice, it didn't match. It wasn't his. It sounded like a recording being played backward.
Oh, hell no. See, this is why I don't mess with anything that involves standing figures in the dark. Why is it always 2 a.m.? Why not noon? Why not brunch time horrors? At least give me a full stomach before I get traumatized.
I backed up and he took one step forward. And I swear I blinked and he was gone.
Gone? Like poof?
Gone. No rustle, no sound. Just gone. I didn't sleep in the shack that night. Stayed in the golf cart with the engine running till sunrise. I tried to get transferred the next day.
Did they believe you?
Nah. Supervisor laughed it off. Said I was probably just tired or messing with them. But here's the kicker. A month later, I ran into a guy who used to work that post before me. He asked if I ever saw the 2 a.m. man.
Oh, dude. Chills.
He quit after seeing him for 2 weeks straight. Said he once found footprints inside the warehouse, wet, bare footprints leading to a locked door.
I'm gonna need therapy, man. What do you even do with something like that?
I just stopped thinking about it. Never went back to that site. And honestly, sometimes I wonder if he followed me. Because every once in a while, I'll wake up at exactly 2:13 a.m. No sound. Just this pressure in the room. Like something's watching.
Man, I got goosebumps. That one's gonna stick with me. All right, Eric. That was wild, man. Seriously. You always come in here with some messed up energy, and now I gotta sleep with one eye open. Again. But, hey, since we're already on edge, I might as well throw in something that happened to me a couple years back. Wasn't part of the job or anything. Just real life. Real weird. So check it out. Back in 2019, I went on this trip with a couple friends, Dev and Marcus. We'd all been slammed with work, life, and just trying to stay sane in the grind, and one day we were like, yo, let's disappear for a bit. No phones, no city noise, just some peace, a campfire, and the kind of dumb conversations you only have with your day ones. We needed that break. Bad. We booked this weekend getaway in northern Georgia. We wanted something cheap and super off-grid. You know, no neighbors, no traffic, just beers, bonfires, and bad decisions. We wanted somewhere off-grid, a place where we could sleep in, drink too much, and maybe do some night hiking if we were feeling brave.
Sounds like a dream setup, or the start of every horror movie ever made.
You're not wrong. So we made it a mission. Find the most remote, most isolated cabin we could that didn't look like something out of a horror flick. Spoiler alert, we failed that last part. With a couple friends, Dev and Marcus. We booked this weekend getaway in northern Georgia. We wanted something cheap and super off-grid. You know, no neighbors, no traffic, just beers, bonfires, and bad decisions. We found this cabin on a janky rental site, like not Airbnb, more like Craigslist vibes. But it looked nice, rustic, cozy, middle of the woods, and it was cheap. Too cheap, honestly. That should have been red flag number one. So we get there on a Friday night. Place is dark as hell. Gravel road disappears after a while, and there's no signal. We finally find it after circling through what felt like Deliverance country. the cabin's just sitting there. No lights on, no cars, no nothing. We get out, unlock the door with the code the guy emailed us, and everything looks fine. Dusty, a little musty, but fine. There's a fire pit out back, an old fridge, a weird painting of a deer in the living room that's kinda off, like its eyes followed you around. But whatever. So we drop our stuff, start unpacking, and Marcus goes to check out the second floor. He calls down and says, "Yo, why is there still food in the fridge up here?" Dev and I look at each other. There wasn't supposed to be a second kitchen. We head up and, yeah, there's this tiny loft-style kitchen with a mini fridge. Inside, a half-empty bottle of orange juice, expired like 2 weeks ago, and a sandwich in a Ziploc that was moldy as hell. I start getting that gut feeling, like something's not right. But Dev's like, maybe the cleaners just missed it. I'm thinking, maybe. But then Marcus finds a duffel bag shoved under the bed upstairs. Inside, clothes, guys' clothes, not folded, just stuffed in there like someone packed fast or got interrupted. Now I'm like, hold up, either this place wasn't cleaned or someone's still staying here. That night, we're outside by the fire, trying to laugh it off. We crack open some beers and talk trash, but none of us go upstairs after dark. We all sleep downstairs, on the couches. At around 2:30 in the morning, I wake up to footsteps. Not outside, not upstairs. Inside. Just slow, deliberate, creaking wood. I sit up. Marcus is awake too, eyes wide. He hears it. I whisper, "Dev?" Thinking maybe he went to the bathroom, but Dev's on the other couch, sound asleep. We both sit there, frozen. The footsteps stop. Then we hear the back door, not the front, the back, open and close, real soft. Next morning, we're done. Pack up, leave early, don't even lock the place. On the way out, I try to call the guy who listed the rental. Numbers disconnected, listing gone. I don't know if someone was living there or hiding out while we stayed. But something was off, and I'll never forget the way those footsteps sounded, like someone was just waiting for us to fall asleep.
Dude, that just gave me chills. You think whoever it was, they knew you were there?
I honestly think we walked in on someone's hideout. Like maybe they were squatting and saw us roll up and just watched us the whole time.
Man, that's way worse than ghosts. At least ghosts don't carry knives.
All right, y'all, that wraps it up for the very first episode of Horror Story Junkie. Huge thanks to Eric for dropping in with another nightmare story. And hey, thanks for letting me unload one of my own. I just want to say, if you made it this far, you're one of us now. And trust me, this is just the beginning. We've got stories lined up that'll make you question every sound your house makes at night. Next week, we've got a guest who swears something was living under their house for months. And no, it wasn't a raccoon. So make sure you subscribe, follow, whatever you gotta do, because the weirdest stories are the ones that are true. Thanks again to Eric for kicking things off, and thanks to all of you for joining me for the first of many dark nights ahead.
Thanks for having me.
Until next time, stay safe, stay weird, and whatever you do, don't go outside at 2:13 a.m. of Horror Story Junkie. Huge thanks to Eric for dropping in with another nightmare story. And hey, thanks for letting me unload one of my own. We've got a lot more coming. Real people, real stories, and the kind of vibes you don't shake off easy. So if you've got something to share, something that actually happened to you or someone you trust, hit us up. Until next time, stay safe, stay weird, and whatever you do, don't go outside at 2:13 a.m.